Gas mob. It's time for another Whipperstappers amateur show brought to you by Stay Young MX. Stay young or grow old. Klark Robbins, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Good to catch up with you, man. I reckon we share a little bit of a similar sense of humour after seeing your helmet with Daniel Blair on it. That really made me laugh, and
Yeah.
it reminded me of this T-shirt I've got on right now. So if you're only listening and not watching, you won't know. But I've got my DB T-shirt on that I got specially made for Anaheim this year. So yeah, we share a similar sense of humor. If you haven't checked out, go on Clark's Insta or Daniel's Insta, and you'll see the helmet we're talking about. It is very funny, man. Yeah, cool, man. Tell us a little bit about your weekend at Vegas, I suppose, man, just for a start, and then we'll deep dive into a little bit of your younger days and getting into the sport. But yeah, tell us a bit about last weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I had a great time. Like the helmet, like you said, it was funny. I got to show Daniel on Thursday before. It was just funny. I had a great time, but and then we got to racing, came around. We had the free practices on Friday, and I felt good. I It was just tricky because of the super motocross. It's like the supercross and then the motocross. So I had supercross suspension on for most of the time, and I did the first two free practices with supercross suspension, and then I just was fighting my bike, and I decided to put motocross suspension on for Saturday for qualifying. So the first qualifier wasn't too great. I think I was like pretty far back there, like 16th or something, because I was just going to use my motocross suspension. And no, wait, sorry, my bad. That was the second one. So the first one, I think I was ninth, and then the second one, I was 11th. So I qualified 11th for qualifying, and then it kind of sucks how we didn't get the night show, so we had a race like before after the LCQs. After that, the main event, I came around on the start, and because I had the motocross suspension on, and the start had like the drop, so it was dropping down, and my whole shot device hit, and then it unpopped. So, and then I got like a mid pack start, and then second lap, I me and this kid hit each other in the air, and I fell over. So I was kind of pretty far back there, pretty buried by then. So I just pushed the way through the rest of it, and I came out like 15th or something.
Yeah, it was a difficult track for like I was watching for all of DB's guys, and especially Caden, of course, being the Aussie, but I was watching what all the yous were doing, and it was a hard track to come through the field on, man. Like even Drew Adams didn't come through far from his bad start, and he's probably the fastest guy out there. So it was a tough track, and then that you could really see even all the pro races. That was a struggle. There was a very, I could nearly name the guys who made more than five passes on one hand from every race. So it was it was a tough one for anyone that got a bad start for sure, though, man. Yeah, but it sounds like you're still pretty positive about it and that you enjoyed it and good experience, man.
Yep, yep.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
man.
it was just
Cool.
mostly experience for Vegas because I just got off an injury on I tore my PCL in my knee, so I only had 3 weeks on the bike to prepare for it. So
Yeah, really. Okay. Yeah,
just really fun.
I could see from your results that you did have some sort of injury previously, but I wasn't sure what it was. That was a
Yeah,
PCL. Yeah. So when did you actually do that PCL?
I did it. I raced the regional at Redbud, and then I was getting ready for the Redbud the combine, and I came back from the regional. I rode for the first day back on the bike. I was literally in doing my warm up, and like 10 minutes into my morning, I just kind of slid out because it was a little slippery and went over the bars and just laid on my leg wrong, and I just tore it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was just before Loretta's, but pretty much.
Yeah. So and then I missed Redbud, and after that, I was planning on making Loretta's to race Loretta's, and I only had 2 weeks to prepare, so I was kind of rushing it. So like the first week was kind of learning. So like the first 2 days, I was just getting back to the flow of riding. And then the third day, I started picking it back up again and trying to get my speed back. And I had another tip over, and I re over again. So I had to wait another 2 months.
Damn, dude. Yeah, that's rough. That's right. Is that the first? Is that the first knee injury you've had?
Yeah, it is. I've never tore my knee or anything before, so I've been lucky. So
Yeah, that's good. It's good that it's only one. Yeah, because
yeah,
that's always a real one. Knees are such a bugger of a thing, man. Like when people get repeated knees, it's
yeah,
always a real bugger of a thing. Yeah, cool, man. Cool. All right, let's jump
yeah.
into your Nah, go for it. What were you going to say?
Yeah. I got lucky because I didn't. The doctor said I didn't need surgery, and I had like 3 doctors look at it, and they all said I didn't need surgery. So it was only 2 months to recover from it. So it helped me a lot instead of getting
Yeah,
surgery and waiting 5 months.
yeah. So you just into the rehab.
Yeah.
Who's your trainer, man?
Right now, my off the bike trainer, I'm using Brandon Hartraff.
Okay.
So
Yep.
he's my off the bike trainer, and I was in California 2 weeks before Vegas, and he trained me for on the bike. But I train at Moto Sandbox, so Ryan's the trainer here,
Oh
Ryan
yeah.
Sipes, and he's been
Yeah.
training me here. So
Yeah, yeah, cool. Nice. Geez, you got a couple of good people in your corner there, man.
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, no worries about that. Yeah, yeah. Because uh Heart Raft, so what's Alpha Dynamics, isn't it? That's what they're called. Him
yeah,
and Coop. Yeah. They do a fair bit of stuff out of the sandbox, don't they?
yeah. I know Brandon works with a couple people here on off the bike
Yeah.
training, and he has a couple people at Sandbox. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. Cool, cool. All right, dude. Let's get into your when you were a real whippersnapper, man. So tell us about like your first bike, and so you're from New Jersey, is that right? That's what the vault
yeah, I'm
tells
from
me.
Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about your first little bike and your first little races and around New Jersey, man.
Yeah, so I had like a little electric 50 when I was like 4 or 5. My parents got me for Christmas, and I loved it. Me and my brother used to ride when we were younger in like the yard and stuff. And my dad got me I was like 6, like a little the KTM 50s. And I did my first race at, I think it was Englishtown,
Yeah.
and I loved it. I just loved it so much. And then my parents kind of like, we did it for fun, and we just did it on the weekends. Kind of just stayed in a trailer, like just had a good time. And then I made it to Loretta's for the first time, and they were like, my parents were like kind of shocked. And my dad actually went to Loretta's when he was younger, so he's been there and he's done it. So we went, just us, and I got like 11th as a 4 to 650, and I we kind of shocked all of us. So because we just went for fun, and yeah, and then it just kind of went from there. The next year, and then the next year, and the next year, just kept going back. I think I went. This year was my first year missing Loretta's in 8 years. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I looked up your results there, man, and yeah, yeah, pretty some pretty good results there. Yeah, like your first podium on 85. Do you remember that? Your first podium. So KTM 85 in what was it? You're racing 10 to 12 class on 85 in 2021. You got your first podium. Do you remember what's your memories of that?
So I was actually AMA 11-year-old, I think. Yeah, and I was like 5'8" on an 85. I was tall, massive, and I just hated riding my 85 because I was so tall on it, and I was just big. And my parents just made me ride it, push through the whole thing. And actually, I first moto, I podiumed third place with a flat front tire. And then I think it was the second moto of the stock class, I actually won. I started like fourth and caught all the way up and won by like 10 seconds or something. And then actually, it was pretty crazy because my whole family, we all got COVID at Loretta's.
Ah,
So I was going to the last limited moto with Caden Dugby. Me and him were tied for the championship. And I had COVID. I woke up that morning feeling sick, like a fever and all this.
mm,
Like, it was pretty crazy. And so I was on the gate. I knew it wasn't going to be good because I just felt so tired all day and
yeah.
had to push through the heat with 20-minute moto. And I lined up. I started the best start I had all weekend. It was third. And then I was in third for a little bit. And then I just kept dropping. And I dropped back to like eighth place. And then I couldn't race. And then I literally almost, I went to the hospital right after that. Came back positive. And then we just packed up and we went home. We didn't race the last moto.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. The old, damn, like, I don't envy you racing, racing, yeah. The worst thing about COVID, man, like it was, I remember when I only had it bad once there, and that was, I caught that at a race too,
Yeah.
the it makes you so tired, man. That's the thing. Like that was probably the difference to a normal flu. Like the flu just felt like a flu, like whatever. But the fatigue from COVID, man,
Yeah.
that's what really kicked me in the butt. Yeah. So I don't envy you racing in Loretta's heat with that, man. Like I felt bad. I felt bad enough watching watching racing and reporting on it with that. So yeah, no good, man. And then obviously, man, a couple of wins last year. So tell us about those Loretta wins last year.
Yeah. So I came into the year like feeling good at Loretta's. It's the best I've ever felt. Like I was confident, comfortable with my bike, and I loved my 125. The thing was fun. You could throw it around. So the first moto, I got third. Yep, third. The first, no, second. Sorry, the second. First moto, I got second, and then me and Tiger Wood. I got the second place start. Got up to lead fast. Me and Tiger Wood were battling for a little bit, and then he passed me. I got arm pump, and then he put a little gap on me, and then I got second from him, and I liked racing him. He was fun, especially at Loretta's. We had a good time
Yeah,
racing each other.
he's a good kid, good kid,
Yeah, yeah,
Tyler. Good
yeah.
bloke. Yeah.
And then second moto came around for the other 125 BC class, and got like a fourth place start. And I was struggling with arm pump all week. I got really tight, like never had such bad arm pump. And I just dropped back to eighth place, I think, or seventh place. Sorry, seventh place it was, and just kind of finished there. I was really disappointed after that, really upset. And then there was that big storm that came through for the last four motos, and it poured. They did the delays. They had a bunch of delays because of the thunder and lightning. Then we all lined up for the mud race. It wasn't too muddy for the second motos, but it was pretty deep
Yeah.
and slippery. And I started like fifth place, and then I came all the Tiger got the whole shot, I think, and then I came up to the front, and then me and him were battling. We passed each other back and forth, like 3 or 4 times, and I finally got by him. And then I put a little gap, and I won that one. And then kind of the same thing with the second moto.
Mm.
On the second moto for the other class, same thing. Kind of started like fifth, and then caught all the way up past them for the lead. And then third motos, it rained even more delays, and it kind of sucked because they put the motos down to 15 minutes, not 20.
Yeah.
So they had to cut it short because they were running out of time on their
Mm.
schedule and everything because they're way behind. And the first one got a good start, and I don't know what happened to Tiger. I never asked him. I don't know what happened to him, but I think he just got a bad start or fell or something. And I just stayed in third, and I finished there. And just I won the title in that one. I knew I was sitting 2-1 in that class, so I knew I just had to beat Tiger. Yeah, I knew I was good for that one. But in the other one, I started like fifth or sixth, and then I actually crashed. And this is the one I got like seventh in the first moto, so I knew like I had to beat Tiger by a couple spots.
Yeah.
And I crashed, and I just thought it was over. And I caught back up to like fifth, and I finished there, but I didn't know what place Tiger got, and I guess he stalled it or something on the start, someone said, and he was way behind me, and I won that, and I was just shocked. I didn't think I was going to win both of them.
Pretty awesome though, man. 2 titles in the
Yeah.
1 year, man. Like, yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Righto. Time for an ad read. Stay young, MX. Stay young or grow old. StayYoungMX.com. That's a really easy website to remember. StayYoungMX.com. No longer a kids brand ran by a kid. My guy Evan Blair, he is a young man now. So we have adult sizes from small up to XXL. There is, I reckon, from memory, 6 or 7 different colorways in Drop 2.0 that is available now, and they all look absolutely awesome. You can also get hoodies for dad, t-shirts for mum, or hoodies for mum, t-shirts for dad if that's what they want. Get around it and have a look. StayYoungMX.com. That's a really easy website to remember. StayYoungMX.com. Cool. Let's get back to see what Klark Robbins has got to say. What's your tell us some other memories of racing futures this year?
Yeah, it's a complete different atmosphere. Like, it's way different, especially Supercross. Like, this year was my first year. I got on Supercross in January, and it was just a whole learning curve. It's completely different. So I trained pretty hard all winter for Supercross. I had like 2 months on it, and then I showed up to Daytona. I was pretty confident, and then as soon as I got out there, I did like 2 laps for our free practice, and I was just blown away. It's like completely different. I was shocked. I'm like, wow. So it definitely like kind of showed me like what it really was, and I got done the practice, and I qualified like 14th or something for my first one. So it wasn't too terrible. Then the night show came around, and we were lining up on the gate, and there's just so many people everywhere. Like, couldn't believe it. Like, I'm in this spot right now. It's pretty cool. So I had just a lot of nerves. I don't think I ever was so nervous in my life. But I got a terrible start. I was all the way on the inside. I just kind of was hoping for the best to get a good jump, and I got pinched. But I just got a terrible start. And everyone was just crashing everywhere. There's people crashing all over the place. That was the gnarliest track I ever rode, because you have the speedway lights shining in your face, and then you had that dark dirt, and there's like shadows in the ruts and stuff. You couldn't really see off the faces of the jumps. So I'm lucky I didn't crash or tip it over anywhere, and I just kept passing people, and I caught all the way up to 5th, and I finished there.
Yeah, that was your best futures result. You also got a seventh at Salt Lake, man. So some good results there. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely, dude. What else? So you've got who have you got helping you out? So Factory Connections. So obviously Moto Sandbox and Ryan Sops. Factory Connections helping you out. Now Alpine Stars. Yep. Cool, man. Cool. So who else is helping you out?
100%. I got the Hunter Racing, which is the team I was on last year. They helped me out a little bit with a couple things if I need stuff.
Yep.
Just talk to and stuff like that. And then Alpha Dynamics, Cooper Webb and Brandon Hartraff.
Yep.
Gas, obviously. Gas Mob. Daniel Blair, Jed. And just, I think that's really it. But yeah, I got a couple decent amount of good people around me. So.
Yep. Do you ever go up to do any riding at next level with Daniel? Do you ever head up there, or is it more of a case he'll come down and see you, or how does that work?
Yeah, no, I came up to his place in October to start training for like a little bit of Supercross just to learn. First place I ever rode Supercross was October, and I rode his little like kind of enduro cross track. I mean, not his enduro, arena cross track.
Arena cross, yep.
Yeah, and me, Lanny Gibson, and Fowler, we all went down there, and he had like a little camp for us for the week. and we all were learning it, and I had a good time.
Yeah, cool,
So
cool.
yeah,
Yeah, because I was actually, being from Australia, like when I think of like Florida and Georgia and South Carolina and all that, like it all seems pretty small because it all seems
yeah,
close. But then I was looking it up on the map, and like it's a fair way, man. Like it's those states might be next to each other, but it's a fair drive
yeah.
from the sandbox to that area where the sandbox is up to where Daniel is. It's I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it's a day trip anyway, isn't it? Yeah, so
Yeah, I think it's like 12 hours. So
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. It's one thing that differs a lot. The willingness to drive a long way to ride and to do things in America is amazes like Aussies, because our
yeah,
country's big,
yeah,
big land mass, um, but I don't know, people Aussies, they don't want to drive far. It's a funny thing, like they don't want to drive far. Yeah, it's a crazy thing like that. Like to go and ride another track that's 12 hours away. I reckon like hardly any Aussies would do that. So yeah, interesting. Cool, man. I might ask you a few other questions, a bit about some other stuff you get into, man. Like, what other skills do you have, man? Do you play any other sports, or do you play a musical instrument, or what other skills? What else do you get into?
I used to play a lot of baseball. I'm a big baseball fan. I love baseball. I watch
Yeah.
it on TV, like the games. I'm a big Phillies fan because that's like the closest place to Jersey that
Okay.
play.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of, when I was younger, I played baseball from 5 years old until I was 10. And then it kind of came down to my parents told me to pick if I wanted to race dirt bikes or play baseball because it was just too much. Because I used to play travel ball and we used to travel for it. We used to drive like different states and play different teams and stuff. And it was just too much to do that and racing at the same time. So they kind of told me that I had to pick one, and I just picked dirt bikes over baseball.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
So a bit like RJ Hampshire, huh? He
yeah,
was
yeah.
apparently, what base. I like American sports, especially football, and baseball's one that I don't know. Like I know the least about, I'd say, because it's baseball's virtually not played in Australia. It is, but it's super small, super niche. Like because we have cricket. I guess our sort of we have cricket instead, I guess, which is our biggest sport. But yeah, so I don't know a lot about baseball, but yeah, what? So were you like what? Were you
I was
a
a
pitcher or?
I used to pitcher and I was a catcher and first baseman.
Okay,
I used to play those three all the time. They were my favorite.
okay, yeah, cool. So you got a good arm.
Yeah, I did until at Minio's when I was. This also made me had to quit because I was at Minio's when I was 10 on the 85 class, and I was last moto. I had to win the championship, win the race to win the championship, and I was in the lead, and I had a lap to go, and I came down the hill and I just swapped sideways and fell right on my shoulder, and I like just tore I like broke my whole shoulder, my collarbone, my scapula, three
Ah,
ribs, and I had to get it all redone. The doctor told me I can't play baseball anymore, so that kind of made me have to quit too. So
damn, damn.
yeah,
So you can't even show off in the backyard now. You've
yeah,
lost your
I can
speed.
throw a little bit, but it hurts. Like it's definitely. I went to my friend plays baseball still, and I was home last year, and we were in batting cage. I was pitching to him, and then the next morning I woke up, my arm was so sore I couldn't even lift it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah. The Phillies, hey? Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have a baseball team, but I've got teams. I've sort of got teams with other, um, you know, American sports and that sort of thing. But yeah, I think we at one stage there, Australia got all excited about, or one of the TV stations in Australia got all excited about bringing baseball in, and we had the MLB on free to air for a couple of years, and we were all watching games because it was interesting, and it's like it's cool, but we didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I never really chose a team or anything. But yeah, interesting, man. Cool, cool. Um, question I like to ask the young fellas, man, is there a pro rider that you get that your riding style gets likened to? Does anybody ever say, you ride like Jason Anderson, you ride like Cooper Webb, anything like that? And if there's not, who would you like to ride like?
No, I haven't really got that, like, that people tell me I ride like someone, but I
Yeah,
would love to ride. Everyone would love to ride like Jet, obviously,
yeah, of
because
course, yeah,
his
yeah,
form's perfect. He crushes it. Everything's
mm,
perfect on him.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's cool. It's interesting, because I've had a few kids that they've had, usually if it's either they like with you, no one said that, but then there's some kids where it's like, oh, people tell me I ride like Jason Anderson, or people tell me I ride
yeah.
like Cooper Webb or whatever. It's an interesting thing. Yeah, cool, man. And what sort of music are you into?
I'm in rock music, country. I like those two. So,
Okay, yeah, you got a favorite like, or
um,
favorite, even a favorite song right now, or favorite singer right now?
um, hmm. I like Jason Aldean. I don't know if you know him, the country singer. So I
I've
like
heard
him.
his name. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
funny, man. Country is very small, very niche. Country music's very small, very niche in Australia.
yeah,
Um, but it is growing in recent times. It is really growing in recent times. It's sort of blending a little bit more into the mainstream. It's blending a little bit into the rock sort of fans in Australia
yeah,
in recent times. Like even like the old boys radio station I listen to that's all just rock. They're starting to throw in a few country guys, and because it just sort of it just fits. So yeah, interesting. And did you get those music tastes from Dad?
yeah. I did. Yeah,
Yeah, good job, Dad. Good job. I
yeah,
always I
yeah,
always appreciate that. My kids have got good music taste. They still like some crappy, stuff as well.
yeah,
But hey, so do I. I've got some things that people are like, you really like that? But they're most of their taste. It's pretty good, real just sort of genuine music. There's a lot of the guys on the gate, a lot of the youngsters on the gate with you. They're all just into rap. That's just it, just modern
yeah,
rap.
yeah,
That's it, isn't it? So
yeah.
it's good. You got to throw in some good some of your dad's music and some of your Insta bangers and that
Yeah.
sort of thing, man. I like it when I see a young bloke and he's throwing whips to AC/DC instead of Drake. So
Yeah.
that's it. Cool, man. And just to close out, man, I've just got a few either or questions I like to ask all the amateurs, man. So weights or cardio?
It depends on what kind of cardio. If we go cycle on a road bike ride, it's not too bad. You got the breeze in your face, and
Yeah,
you're going to see stuff, and you're down the road. But if you're doing cardio, just sitting in the same spot in the gym for an hour and a half, that's definitely not the cardio I like.
yeah,
But
cool,
I
man.
like working out, and I like lifting weights in the gym too. But I probably like cardio better, cycling.
Yeah, yeah, nice. Yeah, yeah. I certainly get that, man. Like I can cardio. Yeah. I mean, for an old fella, I can cardio all day if
Yeah,
I'm going somewhere. If
yeah,
I'm on the bicycle. Uh, I can't run too good anymore because my old because of old moto injuries in my legs, but
yeah,
I still
yeah.
try. But yeah, but like I hate the rower, man. You're just staring at the wall
Hmm.
like that just sucks. And I've actually never owned a spin bike because I've always had plenty of space to ride a bicycle, so I don't need a spin bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, so um, when it comes time for a cheat meal, man, after you win, so let's say after you win at Loretta's, man, did you want something sweet? Were you heading for ice cream, or were you heading for like a pizza, or something
Yeah.
savory?
So that's funny when you say that. After I won Loretta's last year, I went straight. I got in the car after I won, and you went straight to Taco Bell. I don't know why. I just love Taco Bell. I
Nice,
like the
that's
quesadillas. They're good.
savory, man. Yeah, yeah, cool, man. Yeah, awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
What about when you got a little bit of time, gaming or fishing?
fishing. My dad is a big fisherman, and he kind of
Nice,
got me
man.
into it. And yeah, my dad goes fishing, and my grandpa, they go fishing every weekend. They get free time on, so I go with them when I can when I'm home, and I like fishing way better.
Awesome, man. I always like it when you guys say fishing. Warms my heart, that you just want to get outside and do some cool stuff like that. I don't mind. Like my kids, they love gaming, but they like
Yeah,
fishing too. But yeah, um, so when you win it big, man, are you going to buy like a muscle car, like a Camaro or something like that, or are you going to buy like a Porsche?
yeah. I'd probably buy like a Ferrari or something.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So a sports
Yeah,
car, yeah, cool, man, cool.
yeah.
And then for a holiday, man, you going to the beach or going to the snow?
Um, I love snowboarding. I used to do it a lot, but I love the beach too. They're pretty equal. If you get a good group of friends with like a my friend group and we get like a bunch of us to go snowboarding, that's pretty fun. I'd probably pick snowboarding and
Yeah.
going up the hills in the wintertime. It's pretty fun.
Cool, man. Yeah, cool. Because
Yeah,
you've experienced like prime weather for both, haven't you, man? Like
yeah,
you've lived in states in obviously Jersey. I know Jersey gets plenty of snow.
yeah,
And now you're down in the heat all the time.
yeah,
and not too far to beaches and that sort of thing. So yeah, yeah, cool, cool.
yeah.
All right, man. I'll leave you. I'll let you go. Thank you very much for joining me and chatting a little bit about your career so far, man. Good luck to everything in the future, and yeah, I'm sure I'll be watching how you go, and I'm sure you're going to do great things in the future, man. Thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you. Yeah, thank you.
Cheers, man. All right, bye.
Cheers. All right, see ya.